What's up, guys? Got a lot of people who've been subscribed to this channel for a long time. My last few videos, I've finally made the decision, not really a decision, but accepted the facts that the earth is flat. 100% not what we are told. And I know it seems stupid, it seems ridiculous. It took me 2 years after seeing my first flat earth video or information to get past my programming, I guess, and even look at it. And even when I did, I felt almost embarrassed to even look at a flat earth video or flat earth research. So I understand. I get it. Look down here, you look at people saying it's a joke, only cavemen think so. Well, that's pretty much how I felt. But if you've liked, agreed, enjoyed anything I've done on this channel, just give me a chance here. Listen to what I have to say. If you still think it's dumb, that's fine. But let's start with, I guess, why do we think that we live on a ball? You know, they tell us that we live on a 26,000 mile ball that spins at 1,000 miles per hour and rotates around the sun around 65,000 miles an hour. At the same time, the whole solar system is moving through space at over 600,000 miles per hour. Yet the stars don't change, and we don't feel any of that. Now, to me, if that's the case, this would be impossible. That's Polaris in the middle. And you can see anywhere. Just Google star trails. You'll see that same pattern. So with over 700,000 miles an hour of movement, we get a perfect circle. That doesn't add up to me. The other thing you've got to look at is your senses. You don't feel any of that, and the answer that you'll get is that the atmosphere and everything is moving at that speed, so you can't feel it. You know, people say if you're a fly in a car that's going 100 miles an hour, you can still fly and not have to account for that speed of the car. But that's a flawed argument. The reason is that the car is an enclosed system. It is a solid barrier that does move everything at that speed. So that's the reason that, the fly can fly forward, backwards, the same, no problem. But even that has an issue, because if we were to ride on a train running, just across country, 100 miles an hour, and you were to start in the front of that train and run backwards towards the back of the train as fast as you can, you are gonna bust your ass, because you can actually feel the movement. Now, if you run from the back to the front, it's going to be more of a struggle, because you can feel that motion on the train. Now, that's just a basic argument. That's not even accounting for what they tell us is the vacuum of space. So space is supposed to be a perfect vacuum, yet it doesn't pull our atmosphere off. Also, that's That's freaking impossible. There is no way we would have an atmosphere open to the perfect vacuum of space. The vacuum would pull it off. Now, a lot of these arguments I'm telling you are just, something for you to think about. Now, there is going to be some truth, some experiments that you can even go do coming up. But I'm just trying to get you the broad picture here. Because there's so much stuff that isn't what they tell us. I guess one place we can start is the moon. So they tell us that we went to the moon. I don't know if you believe that or not. In the 60s, we went like, those 5-6 attempts to the moon, whatever. And we haven't been back. Now, if you look at that footage at all, if you've done any kind of moon research, you'll completely not be able to deny that that is the biggest hoax bullshit you've ever seen. You've got shadows running perpendicular to each other when there should only be one light source. You've got video being taken from the surface of the moon as the lander is landing. Who took that? You've got the supposed footprint of the spacesuit in the dust of the moon. But then when you look at it compared to the actual spacesuit they were supposed to have worn, totally different prints. And the spacesuit was never tested on Earth. And you're telling me that that suit went up there untested into the most dangerous possible conditions you can imagine. A complete vacuum. Now, they attempted to test suits on Earth in as close to a perfect vacuum as they could get. They tried it one time as far as I've ever found, and they almost died. They were super close to dying, and they never tried to test again because it was too dangerous. So you're telling me they couldn't do the test because it nearly killed people, so they stopped testing it because it was too dangerous, but yet they just throw people in space in these things? Once again, I call bullshit. It's another thing. If the moon has been landed on by us, look at the footage of where the supposed, lander landed. And listen to the video, the audio from it. As they're coming in, they're supposed to be firing a huge jet engine thrust. Yet you cannot hear it in the audio. It's perfectly clear. And there is no sign of a crater or any disturbed dust on the ground where this rocket supposedly took off. Now, this is the horizon. The real horizon.
Sure, I know the world is flat.
Well, so do I. Everybody knows that.
Now this is over 20 miles high. Completely flat. I'm sure you've seen curved horizon pictures, but I 100% guarantee you they were taken either with a fisheye lens or else they were photoshopped. There are no pictures of the Earth from space. They do not exist. Which, if we've been to space so many times, why don't they? Another flat picture. No. We're not done. These are the pictures they give us of Earth. Supposedly 1975, the blue marble. And they said 07 they had one. 12 and 13. Let's just look at 7 and 12. The top picture. Look at the size of North America compared to the bottom. What a bunch of garbage. If you believe that, then maybe you should unsubscribe from my channel, because you have no critical thinking skills. Those are fake as fuck. Just look at these things. Craziness. Couldn't be any more fake. And if you also look, let me see if I can find it. Let's just Google it. You can look closely and see that on these, that they got super lazy. Here's an image of it. And they copy and pasted clouds when they were photoshopping this earth. Look at this. And it's actually worse than this. Here's the picture of the continents, like I was just showing you. Look at that. So which one is it? Did Earth like get consumed by North America in the 5 years, and North America got huge? And if North America's as big as it is on the 2012 picture, where the fuck is South America? Crazy. Every one of these pictures is Photoshop. This is supposed to be, you can look up the video. Video of the moon passing between a satellite or space station, or it's not a space station, but one of the satellites sent out in space, and Earth. Watch that video. Fake. Fake, fake. No. We don't even have to. You look into that. That's enough for you to think about. As far as the Earth pictures, all fake, all CGI or artist renderings. The other thing, let's think about this. Satellites. That's right, satellites are fake too. They don't exist. Communications are ground-based. GPS is ground-based. DirecTV is ground-based. Dish, ground-based. Towers. Why do you think they throw up these towers everywhere? Why do you think your satellite dish has to be so precisely pointed when it's set up? I've set a lot of them up. They have to be exact because they have to hit the signal from the tower, not a freaking satellite. And you can find, people who are satellite engineers, supposedly, or, communications engineers, and they do not calibrate them to satellites. They calibrate them to the nearest tower. Let that sink in. So, we haven't been back to the moon since the 70s. And just recently, NASA and Obama were talking about the next generation of spacecraft that'll be able to transverse past the Van Allen belts. And they say that right now, we can only reach low Earth orbit. But soon, we'll be able to reach beyond the radiation belts and go to the moon and Mars and more. I mean, here, let's look at it. Let's turn my music, pause it. Some ODD TV, anybody who's interested.
Orion is getting ready to launch. My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. Orion is NASA's next-generation spacecraft. Built with versatility in mind, it can take astronauts deeper into space than we've ever gone before, to an asteroid or even onto Mars. For these missions, Orion has to be one tough spacecraft, withstanding high speeds, searing temperatures, and extreme radiation. Before we can send astronauts into space on Orion, we have to test all of its systems. And there's only one way to know if we got it right: fly it in space. For Orion's first flight, no astronauts will be aboard. The spacecraft is loaded with sensors to record and measure all aspects of the flight in every detail.
These poor guys
It all
believe they're
begins
building
with
something
launch
that's going to
aboard a
space.
Delta IV Heavy rocket.
Now we got the rockets.
Journey is just beginning.
Here we go.
As the spacecraft and the upper stage begin their first lap around Earth, Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight.
Let's get to it. This is off the
Orion
fly
is
live.
momentarily lost, but Orion continues to receive and process
That's how I
data.
make my videos. Everybody
Its
should know that.
computers can handle 480 million instructions per planet than the International Space Station.
Oh, let's talk about the space station for a minute. So the space station, supposedly the size of a football field, is said to be orbiting Earth at 17,150 miles an hour in the thermosphere. How hot is the thermosphere? Oh, well, let's look at that. Because not only is it traveling at a speed you can't comprehend, because a 40 caliber bullet, 185 grain, travels at 6,800 miles per hour. And they say that the space station's traveling at 17,000. That's 2.5 times the speed of a 40 caliber bullet. That's ridiculous. Not only that, but you would think that the space station would be an amazing accomplishment. And there would be video it everywhere of them constructing it in space, hauling it up. Not one fucking video. Not one. Matter of fact, nothing from there is real. Just read this. It's 3,632 degrees Fahrenheit in the area that they say they're orbiting at 2.5 times the speed of a 40 caliber bullet. Still believe what they tell you? And there's people that live on that.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts,
There you go.
an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time.
Did you hear that? They have to solve that before people go through this region of space. Just so you know, to get to the moon and back, you have to go through the radiation belts. We never went to the moon. We've never been in outer orbit.
Time to head home. The upper stage of the rocket triggers separation. Orion's jets fire to turn it into the proper position to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. No matter what happens now, we're coming in. 75 miles above Earth, the spacecraft enters the atmosphere.
That's enough of that garbage. Now, not only is back to the space station, which is fake as hell, traveling at 2.5 times the speed of a bullet in 3,600 degree temperatures, but it never needs maintenance. Never. It's never, ever, been hit by space junk, space debris. We'll get into space later, but from what they tell us, that should be everywhere. I mean, they're supposed to be. See how many satellites are orbiting the Earth, supposedly, because they're not. There's 2,271 listed satellites. Oh, here we go. Let's look at astronomy news. I ain't looking for that. There's thousands, apparently. Yet, you can zoom in on the moon with a P900 camera. Nobody's ever seen one cross it. We've never seen one in the supposed live feed from space, which is also fake, because they aren't in space. We've never been in space. Satellites are not real. Rockets would not work in space. If it's a perfect vacuum, combustion doesn't work. Thrust doesn't work. It doesn't work. None of it. It's all lies. I'll get into some more evidence. You guys stick with me. Let go of what you were programmed with since you were a baby. They tell us the Earth is on a tilt of 23.6 degrees. 23.6 degrees. Now, what's significant about that, you say? If you take a 90-degree angle and you subtract 23.6 degrees, what do you get? 66.6 degrees. That's right, 666. I'll leave you with that. You guys hang with me. Stay open-minded. And realize everything you've been told is a lie. You guys be safe.
Trying to brainwash me and everybody else. Why can't y'all see? And Alex Jones is on the internet, imposing on our intellect. It makes me wonder why guys like him even get respect. It's time to disconnect.
IHOP has a fresh take on fresh fruit, juicy oranges and plump strawberries, or bananas and berries, picked at the height of